Hey everybody, my name is Glenn Cadell, and I'm going to go over how to ace the SAT and get accepted to a top college. All right, so in this presentation, I'm going to go over 10 secrets for acing the SAT and, of course, getting accepted. So, I'm just calling them secrets because I guess, secret sounds way cooler than saying tips or advice. All right, so they are how to easily identify wrong answer choices on the writing and language test, the use of the colon on the SAT, how to solve algebra problems without algebra. That practice does not make perfect. I'll explain that when we get to it. Make sure your top college knows you're serious about attending. The PSAT equals money. Get an awesome letter of recommendation. Use early decision. Make a diverse list of colleges. And when I say diverse, it's different than what you probably think. And don't be modest. All right, so for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Glenn Cadell. I'm the founder and CEO of Cadell Prep. I'm also the president of Staten Island Tech's Alumni Association, and I have my degree in mechanical engineering from NJIT. This is actually a picture of me in junior year of college. I'm the guy with the shaved head and that red and white car. So I was on this team where we actually designed and built that off-road car, and we competed against schools from across the country and from some other countries as well. It was a really awesome experience. We got to put our knowledge to the test and actually use it to make something, design it, build it. And I was able to get that experience because I did get a full scholarship to the school. Junior year of high school, I met with the dean of the honors college and went through my transcript, went through SAT scores, and he said, you have to get your SAT score of about 80 points. So then I did the work, I prepared, I got it up 100 points, and I ended up going there with a full scholarship. So it's really important, and it's incredible how much your SAT score could influence not only getting to college but also getting money. All right, so we do of course offer an online SAT prep course, and because of everything that's going on right now, instead of $5.99, it's offered for $39, and I don't know how long that's going to last, but it is $39. All right, so let's get into this. So secret number one. Easily identify wrong answer choices. So on the writing and language test on the SAT, if the answer choice has any of these words or terms, it's wrong 99% of the time. So being, for the reason, is because, is the reason why, or is why. If you see that, you could probably just cross it out. And then obviously it's not going to be the exact answer, the right answer, but you could eliminate a lot of the other answer choices if they have these terms. Okay, secret number two is that a colon is used more often on the SAT than in other texts. So for me, growing up, I think I only saw a colon if it was a list of items. It's bring the following things, colon, and then a list of items. But on the SAT, it's commonly used when what follows expand on what was just mentioned. So if we look at this example, it says, but Jason Box, an associate professor of geology at Ohio State, believes that another factor added to the early thaw, the dark snow problem. Okay, if we look at the answer choices, okay, we see that D says being, so bang, that's out. All right, but let's look at this. So we have, he believes another factor added to the early thaw, the dark snow problem. So this semicolon can only be used if you put a period there. So that means that everything up to that point has to be a full sentence. Everything after has to be a sentence. So the dark snow problem is not a sentence. Everything before is a sentence, so you could put a period, but this part makes it wrong. So we can't put a semicolon there. So just based on that, A and B are going to be out. D is already crossed out, so it has to be C, thaw. But let's make sense of this. So he believes that there's another factor that added to the early thaw, then the dark snow problem. This expands on what we just said. This is the other factor. So here we have a colon, then the information that follows expands on what was just said. Okay, secret three. This is how to solve algebra problems without algebra. So obviously we want to teach you algebra. If you're good at algebra, you use it on the test. But of course, there are going to be some questions that are a little too difficult or might take a lot of time, or maybe just making mistakes and you can't figure out what it is, so you could use this trick. So if you have a question that's asked to simplify, so you have a whole bunch of terms here with variables and the answer choices of variables, we could plug in a number for n and evaluate it and match it up. So I say start with 3. Always start with 3. So let's say if n is 3, plug it in, we evaluate it, right, and we get 2. So this whole thing equals 2 when n is 3. So if one of these equals this, we should also get 2 when we plug 3 in. So we plug it in, and we see choice A is the answer. So we're able to get the answer without doing any real algebra. Okay, secret number 4 is that practice does not make perfect. Okay, and it sounds counterintuitive, but that's because perfect practice makes perfect. Right, so practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect. And that's especially true for standardized tests such as the SAT, because they test specific things, right? So like on the language part, the writing part, you're not going to study all the grammar rules you learned since second grade. That would be kind of crazy. You're just going to study the things that appear on the SAT because they test certain things over and over again. For math, a lot of the math on the SAT is not straightforward. So you have to practice those types of questions, get used to figuring out what it's asking, how to get the right answer. So practicing is the best way to improve, but you have to practice with realistic questions. And doing so is going to help you more quickly identify what the question's asking and quickly recall how to solve the question. So you don't want to spend time on the test figuring out how to answer the question, right? You want to have already been exposed to it and know how to answer it, and then just remember how to answer it. So it's going to save you so much time, and of course, you'll get the right answer. It'll help you notice trap answers. That's true for reading comprehension questions too. So like, for example, a question about main idea, right? The main idea question typically is going to have at least one answer choice that is factually correct, like it includes a detail from the passage, but it's not the main idea. You know, and it trips up some students because they look at it and like, oh, I read this, I know this is correct, but it's not the main idea, so it's wrong. And of course, it's the best way to improve in math. Okay, a bonus tip, you should answer all questions, don't leave any blank. So depending on who you get advice from, they might be talking about a different test. Previous tests said, well, it's better to leave a question blank if you have no idea. But for this current test, you should answer all the questions, don't leave any blank. Okay, now secret number 5 is make sure the admissions officer at your college knows that you're serious about attending. So all these top colleges, they have different regional admissions counselors who like handle a certain area. So get to know who that is. And you can just email the admissions office and ask. Then you want to attend events, introduce yourself. When you're there, make sure you ask good questions to demonstrate that you're really interested, and follow up with email. So keep in mind that like top colleges don't want to offer spots to students who are going to turn them down. Okay, they're very selective to begin with, and they're not going to offer spots to students who are likely to turn them down. So if they know that you're serious about going, it's going to improve your chances of getting accepted. Okay, secret number 6 is that the PSAT equals money. All right, so the PSAT, NSNMSQT, this is National Merit Scholarship Qualification Test. It equals scholarship opportunities. If you score high enough on it, you can be a National Merit Scholar. And half of those will receive $2,500 in scholarship money to any university, but they all receive $100,000 or more in scholarships from specific universities. Okay, so not every college, but specific ones. Okay, so when you prepare for this, though, you're not going to prepare for the PSAT. You're going to prepare for it by preparing for the SAT, right? Because you're going to take this, the one that matters is the one that you take in fall of junior year, and then you could take your SAT in spring of junior year. So prepare for the SAT and help you prepare for the PSAT. So these are some college and universities that give full tuition scholarships. These are some that give half tuition scholarships, and you see that there are some big names on there. And these are the scores that you needed previously to qualify. So you see here for New York, it was 1450. Montana is 1350. It's a difference of 100 points. So each state had their own score that was required, and it's because state by state, the average student scores different scores. Okay, secret number 7 is to get an awesome letter of recommendation. So how do you do that? Well, you could be someone that deserves a letter of recommendation, and you want to be that person from someone whose opinion actually matters. Also, if you need a really well-written essay, letter of recommendation, you should ask your English teacher, right? It makes sense. English teachers are going to write excellent letters. Trying to avoid teachers with cookie cutter templates. There's no real way to know what teachers that's going to be other than to ask older students. So students who already graduated and had letters of recommendation, ask them, or if you're younger, if you're a junior or a sophomore, you could ask seniors what their letters of recommendations were like. And you're going to ask for these letters in September or October of senior year. Okay, secret number 8 is use early decision. All right, so when you do early decision, you're agreeing to enroll in that college if you're accepted. Right, so you only use this for your top choice. Okay, because you have to be absolutely sure. Because if they do accept you, you're saying, I'm going to go there. Okay, so what are the benefits? Well, there are a few. One, it's going to eliminate the stress of applying to other schools if you're accepted. And then 2, you'll find out early if you're not accepted, early decision. Then you can refocus your attention on other schools if you need to. But also remember, like a lot of these top colleges, they're very selective. They don't offer a lot of acceptance letters, right? And then they want to offer to people who are likely to accept. So if you apply with early decision, you're signaling to them that you're going to go there, that you're serious about going there. So it could improve your chances of being accepted. Okay, secret number 9 is make a diverse list of colleges. And like I hinted at, this is going to be different than what you think of when you hear diverse. But first, when we're making the list, there are a lot of things to consider. So first, the majors offered. Like obviously, you only want to go to a school that offers your major. You want to consider how strong their alumni networks are, if that matters for your career. So if you need a career where, like to get into the top corporations or top company, having an alumni network or having alumni recommend you or having alumni who work in these places is going to matter, then that's something to consider. Some colleges have certain partnerships or connections with specific fields. What's the reputation of the college, if that matters to you? And depending on what you're majoring in, maybe you care if they have like the newest equipment or the newest labs. Then obviously campus life matters too. Like how big is the campus? Is it in the city? Is it in a more rural location? How big are the classes? So NJIT, we had a mix of class sizes. So when we had our major classes, I think there might have been like 15, 20 kids per class, and it's really awesome. I think you learn better that way. But then some of our prerequisite courses, like chemistry, for example, was in an auditorium. It was like hundreds of kids. And it does make a big difference. Okay, then do they offer on-campus room and board? So if you want to live there, can you live on campus? You have to get an apartment off campus. And do they have competitive teams? Going to a Division I school could be an awesome experience, even if you're not on a team. Being able to see your school playing in March Madness in the NCAA tournament, like obviously there's not one this year, but it could be an awesome experience. So like that's something to consider also. And if you're on the other side of the country, like if your parents are here and you're here, is that going to be a problem? Is that going to be a problem for you? It's going to be a problem for your parents. Obviously, you really have to consider that. Now, this is what I mean by a diverse list. So you want to every list, you want to break into small lists and make sure that you have some in these categories. It's like schools that are a shoo-in. So these are schools that like you're pretty much definitely going to get into these schools. Like it's like your safety schools. Schools you're a strong fit for, like you match up with well. They're a good fit, decent fit, and a reach. So this is like maybe like your dream school, but it'd be really difficult to get in there, but still like you want to apply there. And you're going to determine where these schools fit based on the most previous year's students that were accepted. So you can find out what their average GPA was, find out what their SAT or ACT score was, and compare it to your own. Of course, there are other things that are considered, and we could help you break that down. So this is an example, like we put in a student's GPA, SAT score, level. This is like the level of the courses. So, are you taking AP courses? Are you taking regular courses or honors courses? And activity, this is like, are they involved with extracurricular activities? Were they the leader? Did they found anything? Are they on sports teams? Things like that. And then also we could figure out what the yearly cost would be, which could be quite different than what a pamphlet says, because it depends on what you're expected to contribute versus how much they'll give to you. And secret number 10 is don't be modest. So when you write your essay or personal statement, you want to be clear why you. So you want to separate yourself from the crowd. So this is definitely not a time to be modest, which can be difficult because you've been conditioned your whole life to be modest, right? But this is not the time to do so. So make sure you stand out. Show them why you should be selected for their college. All right, so some frequently asked questions. So first, when's the best time to take the SAT? The best time is when you have time to prepare for it, right? So if you have if you're on a fall sports team, the fall is probably not a good time. If you're on a spring sports team, the spring's probably not a good time. If you're taking a lot of AP exams, you probably don't want to take it in May. If you have a lot of finals in June, maybe June's not the best. But for most students, the first time they're going to take it is spring of junior year. So whether that's March or May, and then I'll take it again in fall. But there are a lot of times that are offered. You could take it in the winter. You could take it in the summer, also in August. This year is obviously different. The March SAT was canceled, unless you took the school day one. That one was available in time. But the regular March one was canceled. The May one was canceled. June's canceled. But we have the one at the end of August that's coming up and is available. And then, of course, there'll be one they added one in September and October, so you could take them also. But for people who are younger, who aren't really affected right now, maybe you do take it fall of junior year if you know that spring of junior year is going to be crazy. Or maybe you take it in June because you know you have a lot of exams AP exams in May, so you take it June and August. But really, you want to take it when you're able to prepare for it. How many times can a student take it? You can take it as many times as you want. What's a good score? That really depends. For some students, breaking at 900 or 1,000 is considered a good score for them. 1,000 is like an average score. Some students want to break 1,200 or 1,450. It really depends on what your goals are, what colleges you want to go to. When should a student prepare for the SAT? So again, it's when you have the time to do so. But it's definitely better you don't want to try and cram for the SAT. But you also don't want to spread out preparation too far apart. Like I think doing it once a week is probably as much as it should be spaced out, because a lot goes on between then with you preparing. So if you're going for tutoring, it's one thing because you can do your tutoring on one day, you'll do your homework another day, and then really you're doing it twice a week. But you don't want to spread out your sessions too far apart because then you don't really build upon each other. All right, so again, the online SAT course is available for $39 instead of $5.99, and I don't know when this is going to end. It's not like it's a hard sale. I'm saying sign up today or it ends. But there are self-paced video lessons with practice questions, so it's interactive and it's engaging. They're really short videos with one lesson is made up of maybe one or more short videos with questions built into it with video explanations. We have practice questions for each topic. I mentioned video explanations. That's for the SATs also. Then there's my assessment, which is really powerful. So it tells you all the different topics, and it'll tell you your percent you got on it, right? But that itself isn't that great because it can be misleading. So we went even further. So for example, on a question that involved imaginary numbers, let's say you got 0%, right? Zero is bad, right? You can't get worse than zero. So naturally you might think, I have to start preparing for this. But a question of imaginary numbers, on SAT to SAT, there might be one of those questions or there might be none at all. So it shouldn't really be your priority. Instead, you should look at the question you have the most room to improve on. So we include how much you actually improve if you go up to 100%. So linear function questions, maybe you get 50% correct. And then you're looking okay, if I go up to 100, I can get 3 or 4 more questions right. So I should focus on that. So that's what's really powerful about the My Assessment that we have. Then also you get full access to the SAT Math Fundamentals course. So if your math is weak, you could start with that course first before you do the actual SAT course. And when you sign up, there's no term limit on this. Like, it doesn't expire after 3 months or after a year. So even if you're a freshman and you're considering this, you might as well sign up for it now. You can use it, in a couple of years when you're ready to start preparing. This way you just lock in that price that we have now. We also do live online SAT tutoring. So this is real one-on-one tutoring. It's one student, one tutor. The benefit of this is we go at the student's pace. You have the freedom to ask questions. It's a comfortable setting because we build confidence by encouraging students. We work with all different types of students. Some that have maybe 700 on the SAT, and some that are trying to break 900, like I mentioned. So we're used to working with different people at different skill sets. So you don't have to be embarrassed or shy. And if you need a lot of if you need an expert to help you get up to even higher, we're able to do that also. So what's your return on investment? Well, let's think about it. If you're able to get a partial or a full scholarship, I would say $10,000 to $320,000 total. Plus, you're investing in your child's future, so that's career, connections, their pride, right? There's a lot of pride in having a good SAT score. And then the fact that when working with us, you're going to remove a lot of stress and anxiety because we're going to show you the right way to prepare and what to prepare for. I don't know what dollar amount you put on that, but for $39, it's a pretty big return on investment. So once again, it is available, the full course for $39. I hope you got a lot out of this presentation. We covered 10 different tips, some frequently asked questions about the SAT. So I really hope that we're the ones who get to help you, whether it's with this online course or with a tutoring or any other method. But thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, bye.